We
Yeah, let's
Thank
start.
you.
Okay, thank you, members of the media, for the native for coming. My name is Chamisa and MDC. I'm from the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union. I'm the national organizing secretary of Zikosu. To my immediate left is the Zikosu National Commander, National President, Comrade PJS Namburo. Next to him is the National Vice President, Comrade Rudo Munyonga. Next to Comrade Rudo Munyonga is Comrade Mishek Taruinga, is the National Treasurer General. And behind me is Comrade Christopher Tamirepi, is the National Secretary for Sports. And we've got Comrade Talent Butao, is the committee member. And we have Comrade Jonathan Banwat, the Deputy Secretary for Information. And we are here for a press conference to address the issues at hand with regards to the call that was made by opposition Nelson Chamisa when he made a call that he will be inciting violent demonstrations in the land. Thank you.
Thank you, the organizing secretary, Comrade Samuel Mvurume. Thank you, the members of the media. And once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen in the house. The Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union has decided to speak today in response to the recent utterances and calls that were made by the leader of MDC Alliance, Nelson Chamisa, recently when he was addressing his supporters in Midlands province in Gweru, in Ascot Stadium, where he sort of like threatened His Excellency, the President, the government, and to us as the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, we did not take it lightly, as it has some damaging impact to our students, because we are the values of peace. So the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, Zikosu, would like to express its displeasure with regards to the barbaric calls for violence and terror by Nelson Chamisa of MDC Alliance, and the threat to national peace and security of our people. As the giant student board in Zimbabwe, we call Mr. Chamisa to order, and that he must desist from being the hub of violence and disturbances. We believe that the behavior of Chamisa has been unchecked for a long time, and the manner in which he is armed twisting and orchestrating violence is now disturbing, and it should be understood that politics comes after citizenry, and it is everybody's obligation to uphold the Constitution. We appreciate the efforts by some foreign entities encouraging Zimbabwe to uphold the Constitution. Then here is another chance to promote it, and as such, the custodians of law and the legal enforcement bodies must now act. We are tired of the mafia and the lunatic exhibitions by Mr. Chamisa and cronies who are not concerned with the well-being of the majority of our people in Zimbabwe. We are tired with the overdrive mode of selfishness by Chamisa and his thuggery machinery, which is against the expectations of our masses. As the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, we wish to make it crystal clear that we are the promoters of peace and unity in our country. And in this regard, anything that pushes to destabilize the peace and unity that this Second Republic is promoting will surely not be dealt with porridge hands. Nelson Chamisa, you should be reminded that the template you are attempting to use failed in Venezuela, and our people will never again be woodwinked into such acts of terror and banditry. We condemn any wave that distracts our students from sitting for their examinations. So, Nelson Chamisa, you should stop it forthwith and immediately. We therefore call upon all level-headed Zimbabweans to uphold the morality and the principles of peace in all sections and levels of our communities, to implant seeds of unity and a pathway for development that will benefit the present and the future generations to come. The future of our young people And that of our students must be valued, and we will not allow any wave which seeks to break and destabilize the academic environment of our students. And as such, we call upon our beloved students to be peaceful and not to be used as agents of terror and violence by those advancing their selfish agendas. Our students will not be enticed by dirty coins of silver. We therefore challenge National Chamisa of MDC Alliance and his colleagues and as well cashivists to channel their energy into productive things, as well exhibit some level of maturity and stop behaving like horny stray dogs. It is a collective responsibility to promote peace, unity, and as well build our nation. Let us all be exemplary and show good deeds to the people we lead, and be architects of chaos and anarchy, and not to be the architects of chaos and anarchy, as it destroys what we had built for our people and the future generations to come. And as we know, surely Rome wasn't built in a day. And we should have used the same, if Rome was built in a day, we should all have used the same contractor. And let us all embrace what is good for us, what is good for the future of our younger generation and for the future of us all. And that can only be attained by having dialogue wherever it is necessary, not to be confrontational at all times. We need to foster peace as it is the pathway for development. So to Mr. Nelson Chamisa, as the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, we want you to desist from any acts of terrorism or any act that might cause the dysfunctionality of our society. I thank you. Yes, Chef.
Taxmoney from SlyMedia.
From SlyMedia.
You are warning Nelson Chamisa to desist from inciting violence.
Yes.
If he continues to call for violence, what are you going to do
Well,
as an organization?
In actual fact, if you were carefully listening to the press conference, you would see that there was a point in time when the national president was referring to the ideals of the law at hand. The reward of the law will catch Nelson Chamisa and to make sure that we file a complaint with regards to that. We tend to see that issues with regards to violent demonstrations are very disruptive, and at the end they are not encompassing at all. It's a collective responsibility for every individual to make sure that we focus on national building and not politicking all the time. We will go to the law and we will use the law. It's not constitutional at any given moment. Our constitution, our Zimbabwean constitution does not even allow the ideas of violent demonstrations. We will use the constitution because that is our weapon of mass destruction.
Are you united as students under the cause?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
yes, one.
My name is Lucy Yasin. I'm a freelance journalist. This is a call that has been made. And if there was any crime, we should be seeing someone behind bars. What crime do you see that Chamisa is committed? Since up to today, he hasn't been arrested. Then my second question is, we have had other calls before. We've covered during the former President Robert Mugabe era. We covered lots of press conferences by the war veterans under Zanu PF, and they were making several calls that were more violent. You were silent. Why?
Okay, if I may respond to your first question with regards to why we're making the call and why Chamisa is not behind bars, because it's a call and there's no action. You have to understand the political dynamics in the country, and you have to understand the history of the opposition party, in actual fact, the political history in Zimbabwe. We have had opposition parties, opposition leaders that have called for violent protests, but a call from the MDC, in actual fact, cannot be ignored at any given moment. This is an address that we have to make, and that is why we're making that same kind of call. The crime that Nelson Chamisa has committed is that of inciting and telling people that he can do it.
in actual fact, he has taken the law into his hands. He has gone against the constitution of the constitution that is promoting the peace that we are so enjoying today. That alone in itself is a crime. It is a very serious crime. I cannot be in a position to go and incite the people downstairs, telling them that I'm going to be unleashing terror, especially given the fact that we have a constitutionally elected government, a legitimate president in actual fact, who is in power. That alone is a crime.
The second question?
If you can...
No, I asked you 2 questions. I think you...
If you can repeat the other question.
I can't repeat it. I think you are how many? 2, 4, 6, 7. You should have picked the question.
Next question.
Yes. With regards to the causal factors to the potential of instability, like that is economic crisis, the challenges that we're facing as a nation. What is it that you're doing to see to it that government redresses those challenges, and in turn the people don't have problems that incite them to want to engage in such demonstrations and violent acts?
Okay, thank you.
So, maybe if I could respond to you, Ms. Comrade. Are there any other mechanisms? Are there not other mechanisms to try to settle peaceful discourse between the grievances of the people and the citizens? Is it the demonstrations? Is it only demonstrations as only mechanism or two to settle the differences or the grievances of the citizens to the government? Should we always demonstrate wherever citizens they have grievances? Should we always demonstrate against the government? Or should we actually sort to engage in peaceful means to settle the grievances? I'm sure recently there was the call for dialogue. If he was a genuine citizen who is more interested in the well-being of the citizens of Zimbabwe, he should have take a heed to the call and participate in the dialogue. Maybe it was going to sow some positive fruits that was going to benefit our people. So we don't believe in violence, we don't believe in terrorism or in any acts of conflict. We believe in peaceful means of solving issues. That's why we are intellectuals.
Maybe just to add one with regards to that. I'm sure after the harmonized 2018 elections, that after the constitutional court ruling with regards to legitimacy of His Excellency the President I'm sure most of you journalists in here attended the inauguration ceremony when His Excellency opened his arms for dialogue, especially to opposition parties. And you find that the problem with politicians in Zimbabwe is for so long, for many years, they've been politicking, and not coming for a collective responsibility, especially with regards to approaching issues of development of our nation. That alone can tell you the level of maturity that an individual possesses. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As students, at some point you'll also leave university, and sooner than later maybe you'll be leaving university. What is more important to look at right now, the political situation in the country or your welfare as students? Because I know and I believe as students, your welfare in relation to what you are supposed to be having as students in order for you to be successful in your studies are not up to scratch or standards. What is more important to you now to speak about? Because the economic crisis in the country does not exclude you as students. You should have maybe during this same week call us as the fourth estate and speak about your grievances concerning your education, which is going to end anytime soon, and then you'll be able to contribute to the economy after attaining your respective degrees. What is more important, to clamor for violence that has not already taken effect, or the challenges that you are facing as students?
Okay. maybe to respond on that one, say, we, the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, we've always been making fruitful engagements with various ministries and the stakeholders. And for as long as those stakeholders are still having quick response to our issues and trying to come up with ways of to mitigate the problems and challenges that we're having, there's no need for us to go in public and declare or announce that such and such a problem we have tackled in such a way. But as long as those stakeholders, those even private or public stakeholders are engaging with us in a cordial and fruitful, responding to our issues in an amicable way, there is no room for us to come and announce it in the public media or post it everywhere. We have come to make a clarion call to Nelson Chamisa to stop the issues of violence, the call for violence, because we know the devastating effect that it has, especially on our learning environments. Which is why we come out so open, because he announced it publicly, and we also have to respond to him publicly.
Some of our viewers watching right now are saying it's a democratic right for any movement to demonstrate. What's your take on that?
Okay, very true. It's a democratic right for everyone to demonstrate. But the same constitution entails that one's democratic rights must not infringe or step into the other person's democracy. Which is why, as students, we are here today denouncing the call for by Nelson Chamisa, because his call for violence, his right to demonstrate, is now infringing on our rights as students.
Just to add on with regards to that, Zimbabwe Congress Students Union will harness the demographic dividend at the end through students' participation. Our engagements, like what the national president has actually said, our engagements, our fruitful engagement with the ministries and the government at hand, working hand in glove with it to make sure that we address the problems at hand. I would give you an example of our economy, that everyone understands why we are here. The economy is like the body of a human being. When someone has a headache, it's either the individual chooses to go to the hospital to find the actual problem as to why I have a headache, or why the person has a headache. Or the person can choose to go to the nearest shop or the next pharmacy and buy painkillers or stop pains, whatever it is. Now, it's a choice. The previous dispensation, the previous regime under former President Robert Mugabe was that of painkillers. This dispensation will address the actual root causes of the problems at hand. So I tend to see we as intellectuals from the intellectual community come in with ideas on how best we can move from one place to the other. That is our participation as students, promoting and harnessing the democratic dividend at hand. I hope I've answered you.
Apart from this public call that you are making, appeal, have you made any effort to reach out to him to have a one-on-one discussion over the utterances?
If Mr. Nelson Chamisa is not willing to sit with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Emerson at their level, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, at their level, do you seriously think Nelson Chamisa would be in a position to sit down with us? Not everyone who chased the zebra caught it, but he who caught it chased it.
Okay, if there are no further questions.
Hello.
Okay.
My apology, I joined you lately. My name is Edward Mumbe. I write for News of the South. I don't know whether you tackled this or not, but I was looking at the press release which circulated among the media groups, and I was looking at the agenda which reads, "Enough is enough, violence, biggest violence." Yeah, for the sake of trying to grasp of what the phrase meant. Could you elaborate on that? What you mean by that?
Violence begins violence.
Yes.
No, I never come across such a topic about issue of discussion.
It was in
I
the press
have it
conference,
here.
second.
That's the invitation.
It was in
Yes,
the-
But
it's an agenda.
personally, I never saw it.
Yeah, I have it.
Let
here.
me chip in for the benefit of all of us who are here. I think when you book the press conference, you talk to me directly.
Okay. And I
That's
said
where-
violence begets violence.
And that's where you coined that agenda.
Okay, you say
Maybe you have forgotten.
Enough is
Okay.
enough.
Enough.
Violence begets violence.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
fine. Let
Can you expand on that?
let me make it clear. As we have alluded before, the Zimbabwean Congress of Students Union, yeah, we are the architects and believers of peace. In any way would we tolerate any violent mechanism as a way to solve issues. So I think maybe during the actions of words, or when we were talking or discussing to the gentleman behind the camera, maybe he misquote me. But as we want to make it so categorically clear that the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union will not be in any way be the mechanism or the architects of causing violence in any way.
So in other words, you are trying to say I misquoted you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If your grievances as students are not met, or maybe it's a petition to various ministries concerning your welfare as students, if they are not met, can you as the course tell us that you're not going to go to the streets and demonstrate?
Well, if the grievances are not met, surely, if they are not met, we'll come out open and discuss it in public. We'll find other mechanisms to make it work. But as it is concerned, like now, all our engagements have been fruitful, and we look forward for positive engagements.
Maybe just to add one there, the most positive thing we have, especially coming from the Second Republic, is the idea that we have a listening president. In that regard, like what my president has just said, we have 3 ways of dealing with such issues. 1, dialogue. 2, dialogue. 3, more dialogue. Until we get answers.
Okay, we wanted it to be on record so that demonstrations will not be the last resort to meet your grievances, because we will still be here as the fourth estate to ask you the same question. That's why we wanted it on this on record. My last question to you is it's not a question as such from me. It's coming from the viewers on SlyMedia right now. They are saying you are Zanu PF puppets. What do you have to respond to that?
No, we are the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union. Our role is to represent the students. I wonder if that question or the viewers who are in the big screen, where are they getting it from?
They are also saying these are brainwashed kids being trained to be CIOs. Those kids that I get the useless president. You know, these are viewers. You can still go and see it on SlyMedia Productions. The comments are there. I'm not formulating.
If I may just come in there.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, obviously, you know, it's the giant students body in the land.
Agreed.
Yes, thank you for agreeing.
It's the same question which maybe...
And in that regard, by virtue of us being an affiliate, in actual fact, must tell you that we subscribe or share the same ideology as that of our revolutionary party, Zanu PF. Sharing the same ideology in that of becoming an affiliate, you have to understand the term affiliate. We are not puppets, but we are promoters of peace, like what the national president in actual fact has just said.
Yes.
We will, at any given time, at any given moment, when given the same platform, and when we feel the need to address the issues at hand, come publicly. If they are made to become public, the same way that Chamisa has done.
Is it the same reason why you did not come up in the open when utterances were made from some sections of the war veterans and some retired generals speaking about violence before the elections, and you didn't come out as the giant for the students' union?
Maybe you might also help us. What extent ways Did they say calling for violence? Did they call for a violence? Did they call for any terror or any bloodshed? Did they threaten anyone for any bloodshed or terror?
Through your research, you have never heard anyone in your existence
No,
who ever said, Mnangagwa will shoot to the office. You never, through your existence in this country, you have never heard anyone saying Mnangagwa will shoot to the office.
Shoot to the office?
Yes.
No, we never come across such a statement that Mnangagwa will shoot straight to the office.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I was taking a look closer on the way you were warning Chamisa concerning the alleged violence staging. Okay, given such kind of vociferations which you have uttered, do you think it's pointing to dialogue or it's inciting one of those Palestinian mob violence?
Maybe you can come again.
I'm saying, I was looking at the way you have warned Chamisa concerning the alleged staging of violence. Don't you think that such kind of separations are they linked to? Are they pointing to dialogue issue, or they are inciting one of those Palestinian mob violence?
Like we have said earlier on, we are not inciting any violence. We have said it clearly that the Zimbabwe Congress of Students Union, the reason we are here today, if it comes to the West.
And we will not be silent at any given time on things that with regards to when issues that disrupt peace are at hand. So in actual fact, the drive at which we are pushing towards it is that of promoting peace and warning those people that want to disrupt it.
Okay, given that that position, what role have you played to the previous massacres which transpired in the country, the likes of the violence which took place in January, to the violence which took place in the post-elections of last year?
Okay, thank you. Maybe to just answer you is the last question. Who was the major, who was the engine behind those bloodshed?
I think
that's why I've redirected the question to you: who was the engine or for the drive towards those bloodshed conflicts that you're actually referring to?
we are talking about violence here.
Yes, we are talking about violence.
I think my question is closely linked to the issue of violence.
Yes.
Can you address that?
That's why I'm rephrasing the question and referring back to you.
Before referring it back to me, can you answer it?
It's unjustifiable.
It's unjustifiable. It's unjustifiable. That's why I'm actually rephrasing it and directing it back to you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.